Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Evening Devotion. Tonight we're going to be reading out of Genesis 46, 3 and 4. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. Okay, so if you guys haven't seen them already, I uploaded a video earlier today, about two or three. And it was one of the videos I took. It's about 2 minutes long. I couldn't make a short out of it because I was giving a little bit of commentary as to where we were and what was going on. And it's a span shot. And then I did a second one on top of the big hill. That one I uploaded first because it looked better, and then I uploaded the second one. That'll be up about 8 o'clock tonight, 7 or 8 o'clock tonight maybe. So keep your eye out for that one. But there's two different shots from two different elevations looking at the mountains. The one on top of the hill I think is better because it gets a bigger shot of it. And that was from yesterday. We were up at Rocky Mountain Arsenal National Wildlife Refuge, which is literally just like right outside of Denver. All right. So the two verses say, "So he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not fear to go down to Egypt, for I will make of you a great nation there. I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also surely bring you up again. And Joseph will put his hand on your eyes." Interesting stuff. Let's start in verse 1. Joseph brings his family to Egypt. So Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. So this is all after Abraham. Then God spoke to Israel in the visions of the night and said, "Jacob, Jacob." And he said, "Here I am." Now, this is interesting. God spoke to Israel, but he called him Jacob. So this is interesting because Israel is also referred to, well, there's a section of Israel referred to Jacob, but they're referenced as Jacob because if you remember in the tribulation has another name. It's not just the tribulation or the great tribulation or the hour of darkness or anything like that, the hour of trouble. It's Jacob's trouble because it is Israel that's going to be dealing with a lot during that whole time frame. So it's interesting. We see both names being used right here, but he's speaking to one individual person, but in that person is the entire nation contained. So he said, "I am God, the God of your father. Do not fear to go down to Egypt, for I will make you a great nation there. I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also surely bring you up again, and Joseph will put his hand on your eyes." Now, this is going to be this is getting to the point, because the law didn't come through Moses until like 430 years after Abraham. So this is down a ways. Then Jacob arose from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried their father Jacob, their little ones and their wives, in the carts which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. So they took their livestock and their goods, which they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went to Egypt, Jacob and all his descendants with him. His sons and his sons' sons, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his descendants he brought with him to Egypt. Now, and then it goes on into all the names of all the different individuals. And it's funny because whenever you look at the genealogy of Jesus, you find a lot of those names there. His family tree goes all the way back. Technically ours does too. Jacob must have shuddered at the thought of leaving the land of his fathers sojourning and dwelling among heathen strangers. It was a new scene and likely to be a trying one. Who shall venture among couriers of a foreign monarch without anxiety? That's true. Do we not experience anxiety here now, even in our own country, or wherever country you're at? Do you not experience anxiety there? I'm experiencing anxiety. I'm ready to go home. Colorado is pretty. Seen a few things. I'm ready to go back home. I'm ready to go back home where I feel comfortable. I feel like I've been gone forever. Yet the way was evidently appointed for him, and therefore he resolved to go. This is frequently the position of believers now. They are called to perils and temptations altogether untried. At such lessons, let them imitate Jacob's example by offering sacrifices of prayer unto God. and seeking his direction. Sacrifices of prayer. That's the sacrifices we do now. Sacrifices of prayer and seek his direction. Take counsel with God. We can all do that right now, literally. Let them not take a step until they have waited upon the Lord for his blessing. Then they will have Jacob's companion to be their friend and helper. How blessed to feel assured that the Lord is with us in all our ways and condescends to go down into our humiliations and banishments with us. Even beyond the ocean, our Father's love beams like the sun in its strength. We cannot hesitate to go where Jehovah promises his presence. Even the valley of death's shade, it grows bright with the radiance of his assurance. Who was it? Was it Daniel or David, I think? It might have been Daniel. He says, if I make my bed in the mountains, you're there. If I make my bed in the valleys, you're there. If I make my bed in the bottom of the ocean, you're there. If I make my bed in hell, you're there. He's everywhere. And especially if we're there, he's going to be watching over us everywhere. I guarantee you, whatever we are going to do, whatever we are going to engage in, wherever we are going to go and to exist, the Lord is already there waiting for us. And he's standing with us, escorting us there at the same time. Marching onwards with faith in their God, believers shall have Jacob's promise. They shall be brought up again, whether it be from the troubles of life or the chambers of death. Jacob's seed came out of Egypt in due time, and so shall all the faithful pass unscathed through the tribulation of life. People talk about, oh, we have to go through tribulation. We already are. That's what this life is. And the terror of death. We all have an appointed time. Let us exercise Jacob's confidence. Fear not is the Lord's command and his divine encouragement to those who at his bidding are launching upon new seas. The divine presence and preservation forbids so much as one unbelieving fear. Without our God, we should fear to move. But when he bids us to, it would be dangerous to tarry. Reader, go forward and fear not. Remember what happened when they went after Lot? When they went to get Lot? What did he do? 2 angels came. The Lord sent us to get you and your family out of here. You have to leave. What does he start doing? Milling around the house. I think I'm going to take this with me. I'm going to pack this. The 2 angels stand there looking at each other. Look at Job. This place is about to be completely annihilated. You've got to go. We need to leave now. They actually had to take him by the arm and pull him out of the city because he wouldn't leave. Let's go. What's wrong with you? They had to drag him out and get him out of the city so they could wipe it out. What was funny is that there was another city a little ways away. Was it Zoar? Might have been Zoar. That he stayed in for a while and then moved from there. And supposedly that city was taken out after he left. So the Lord actually held on because he was going to take that city too because it was part of the cities of the plains. But he didn't because he had stopped there. And once he left there, then he took that city out afterwards. So the Lord tells us to go. Let's go. Let's not wait around. Let's not play around. Let's not goof around. Let's get moving. Because if we wait, if we hold on and wait and well, I don't know, because sometimes it's going to be scary. But if we hold on, it might get scarier where we're hiding, where we're staying, because that's what we're doing. And we're showing a lack of trust in the Lord. Sean, I want you to go here. Okay, Lord, I don't know nothing about it. I'm apprehensive about this, but you know what? I trust you. And I know you're going to lead us where we should be. And so I'm going to move. Now, instead, if I say, well, I don't know, Lord, that's an awful rough situation there. I don't know if we're going to make it with the situation we're in and everything. I'm showing a lack of faith. But if I say, okay, well, I already know our situation. You know our situation. There's things I don't know, but I know you are aware of everything. And I know you will make it possible. Whatever happens, however it unfolds, you're going to make this possible. If this is where you want me to go, you will make sure that I get there one way or another. Look what happened with Paul. He's about to be torn apart in Jerusalem. Everybody's arguing, everybody's fighting. Jesus is standing right next to him. Nobody saw him. Jesus puts his hand on Paul's shoulder while Paul's knelt down going, man, this is it. I'm done for. He says, hey, don't worry. You're going to go to Rome. I need you to go to Rome. And what happened? He went to Rome. Against all odds, in the full face of all the problems and all the things that had developed, they went to Rome. Shipwreck, the storms, all kinds of stuff. They went. They made it because the Lord made sure that they made it. And what a story they had to tell. See, a lot of times we look at those things and those scenarios that happen and we think, why would the Lord put me through that? We need to pause for a minute and instead go, what is the Lord showing me that I can share with others? Because this may be a story that will bring faith in others when they hear it. Because then they'll look and they'll say, wait a minute, that was the Lord with him. That's amazing. We don't realize a lot of the times that when those things happen, just like what happened here with Jacob, it wasn't an easy thing, but look what happened. They went down to Egypt. The whole population blew up. And then Moses was sent to go take them out. And look at what happened. An amazing story. Changed an entire region. And that story is still being told to this day. Sometimes those things happen and you realize that was the Lord. I've told you guys about when I had that little Datsun station wagon. Wish I still had that car. Those things are selling for like 20 grand now. And I bought new tires, but I couldn't afford to have them mounted because I needed new tires. Mine were pretty bad. And I was driving from Seguin down to Corpus Christi because that's where my mom, my dad, and my grandma were. And we were driving down there. And at the time, with the speed limits the way they were, it was about 3 hours, 2.5, 2.75 hours. We were taking the back roads down through Kennedy and Karnes City. And then there was one highway that branches off outside of Karnes City and takes you up straight to Highway 37, and then you take 37 straight down to Corpus. And that was the way we normally went. And I especially wanted to do that because I didn't want to be on the highway if I lost a tire. Well, I lost 3 tires. Technically 4, but I had to change 3 of them by hand because I had to break the busted tire off the rim and put the new tire on, mounted on by hand. No balance either, to air it up and put it on the car and go. So I did that. At the time, we're like, really, what's going on here? Now, it's funny because at that time, me and my wife were like, I wonder what's going on because this is kind of ironic that this is happening now and it shouldn't be. My tires were okay enough to make it down there. And yet 4 of them technically went out. One I already had on the rim, I changed it, and then the other 3 I had to change by hand because I thought that was the only one that was going to be the problem. It turned out all 4 tires became a problem, 3 of them being the worst. But we realized after we got down to Corpus, because there were no cell phones at that time. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, any young people here, there was a time when there were no cell phones. There was no cell phones. Pay phones everywhere. What we didn't know was that at the intersection where we would go under the highway and make a left and get on the highway to head to Corpus was a major accident where an 18-wheeler shot off the overpass down into the intersection, completely blocked the entire highway. If we hadn't had those flat tires, we'd have been right there when that happened. Literally right there. Afterwards, looking back, we realized that was the Lord. The Lord slowed us down. So we had to mount some tires. If we'd have kept going, all 4 of us, me, my wife, and both our kids who were really young at the time, we would have all perished. That would have been it. My mom and dad, same thing, had an Oldsmobile, not Oldsmobile. What did we have at that time? No, we had a Plymouth Grand Fury 3, first car I ever officially learned to drive in. And they were we were living out in the middle of the woods out in Missouri. All the roads out there now are paved. Back then it was all gravel roads, so tires didn't last very long, especially when the grader came through and cut them, made sharp edges. So they're driving in. Well, a tornado touched down in Spring Bluff. It's a little tiny town, had a store and a couple houses and a school. A tornado touched down and went right through there. Well, they had a flat tire, and they had to change on the gravel road, and it was kind of a hassle trying to get it changed. But if they hadn't have, they literally would have been right in front of that store where that tornado went right over the road. And so it would have got them. I look back and I realize, that may have been Satan trying to get us. And I have story after story after story that indicates to me that may have been Satan trying to get us in many occasions throughout our lives. And I can go all the way back to when I was a little kid, stuff that I don't remember right now, but my mom and dad told me about it. Or he may have been trying to get me then too. All of us. And these stories, these events, these experiences are amazing stories to tell to other people. And then they go, wait a minute, that must have been the Lord. It was. I know it was. What are the odds that some of those things would happen? And we've gotten to the place where now we've learned to expect it. There's a reason why this happened. There's a reason why that happened. And then we find out the reason. And we see the Lord's hand. My mother-in-law and my father passed last year, July and September. Last week of July, first week of September, respectively. And we saw the Lord's hand working in all of that. My wife, it perfectly coincided when my mother-in-law went down for my wife having time off. Then her school actually, when she told them what was happening, because she was due back, and we were on 24-hour watch at that time, they said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. And they readjusted some stuff. Didn't do anything illegal, but they adjusted things so that she would be okay. And she was able to sail right through all that. And it was funny because there was a test she was supposed to take, and the machine and the procedure she was supposed to use, we had to use on her mother. And the hospice nurses attested to it, and she passed her class without even having to go take the test up there because she literally did it right there in our house. After, when my mom and my dad were swapping places in the hospital, I told her, I said, I think my dad's going next. One of these two is going next. At first, we thought all three of them were trying to see who can go first because all three of them were in the hospital. And so I told her, I said, I think my dad's going next. And then, boom, a month and a week later, almost to the day, he went. We witnessed the Lord happen and all those things. And these are testimonies, guys. All these things are testimonies. I'm just talking about me. I'm not talking about stuff that happened to my wife individually or even my children individually. Our Lord is there, and he puts us through these experiences not only to teach us, but to give us a testimony to share with others. Jacob had what a testimony he had, him and his family. You know that whenever Moses came, they were still talking about that. I guarantee it. In fact, I think the Bible references some of that. To this day, they're still talking about those things. It's amazing. So don't think for one second that these things that happened, like he told Jacob, go ahead and go down there. They didn't want to go. Go ahead and go down there. I'll be with you. Don't worry. I'll be with you. And what did he do? He took that little small band of people, that family, and turned them into possibly over 1.5 million people the time that they were there. That's amazing. Amazing. Testimonies that show the faithfulness of the Lord, the goodness of the Lord, his holiness, his grace, and his mercy, and his love. So these bad experiences that we perceive as bad, because that's what we were taught to perceive, not necessarily. It's most likely, especially concerning us that believe, us that are saved, most likely these are testimonies he's giving us that we can tell others, and they'll go, wow, that was the Lord. And then they will look back on their life and go, now I see him here. He's been with me my whole life. And then they share. And then the next person does it. And then they share. And it just keeps passing down the line. Look, the Bible did the exact same thing. So don't think for a second that the trials you're going through are without value. They're great value. And they bring great reward when we endure them with patience and faith. But it's also giving you a testimony that will help others in their faith. And when they see how happy you get and excited you get telling these testimonies and sharing with them, I know for a fact that was the Lord. It's obvious. They will start to notice that, and they will start to change them. They will come to the Lord and receive faith, or they will be strengthened in faith, or they will be encouraged and built up. It's all by design, every bit of it. And now that I know it, when I see these things come, the Lord's doing something. I may not know what it is yet, but I know the Lord's doing something. And my wife has started to figure it out too. And we both know, well, the Lord's doing something here. Let this play out and see what happens, and wait on Him. And I'll go to Him and ask Him counsel. What should I do in this? And I'll tell you what, most of the time it's just be still and know that I'm the Lord, and just watch. And we see His hand working, and there it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can only speak on my own behalf. I cannot speak on others. You guys have your own testimonies. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Share them with everyone that'll listen. It just may be that story mixed with the gospel, that testimony, will bring them across. At the very least, you can plant seeds of faith by doing so. I love you all very much. I bless you all in Jesus' name, and I'll see you in the next video.